was his birthday, and I got an attack in my voice box over the weekend. I didn't realize how bad it was going to take me, but got through Sunday and Monday I came up and spent the day with Dr. Graham for his birthday, and the family were there, Franklin and so on and so forth. We just had the best time you can imagine. And 98 years of age, Dr. Billy Graham, 98 years of age. Isn't that wonderful? You know, people will ask me that question from time to time, as Brother Todd, as you asked me in my study there one time, you know, what's it like? And I tell you, it's one of the most humbling things in my life. It leaves me. It leaves me. You'll find, I'm telling you, to try and find words to describe something like that. I cannot tell you. So many people experience, but week after week and day after day, all these years, being able to sit at the feet of Dr. Graham and talk, you know, over the years we've talked about everything. And we would sit on his front deck eating hot dogs and stealing each other's yogurt and joking, wonderful sense of humor. And why he would love me, I don't know. I tell you, I can tell you so many stories of just the two of us just being there and talking about everything, from presidents to prime ministers to you name it. You name it. You know, you talk about his association in the political world, and we all know Dr. Graham has had such an influence, been such a close confidant of so many of our presidents. And I've had the privilege of sitting and talking and listening, and some of them are my great favorite stories. Well, I'll just share one of them with you quickly. You've probably heard it, but you know, this is one of my all-time favorites. When President Eisenhower called Mr. Graham, to hear Mr. Graham tell the story just takes it in another league. And they were playing golf, I think in Texas together. Air Force One came and gone, all the rest of it. They took over the whole golf course, of course, the President of the United States. And that was the time when President Eisenhower was right at the end of his term of office. And those of you that were around then will well remember Richard Nixon was becoming engaged, and John Kennedy, and so on and so forth. And Mr. Graham, on about the fifth hole, playing golf with the President, just the two of them and all the security, he said to him, Mr. President, I need to ask you a question. And President Eisenhower was about to tee off. And he stopped, the President, and he turned around and he said, yes, Billy, what is it? To which Mr. Graham said, Mr. President, I just wondered whether you might, whether you would just consider saying a few words publicly in support of Richard Nixon in his effort to run for president. To which President Eisenhower stopped, looked at him, and he said to him, Billy, how many times have I heard you preach? To which the young Mr. Graham back then said, well, I'm sure, Mr. President, I don't know, but I'm sure it's been a number of times. He said, can you name one time when I have ever interrupted you when you're preaching? He said, no, Mr. President. He said, don't you ever interrupt me again when I'm playing golf. Isn't that a great